Hello everyone, welcome to GSS Core. This is Ajay Shah. So today in the series of Pathways, we have MEDHA Anand with us, who has secured All India rank 311 in UPSC 2019. MEDHA by qualification is a civil engineer, and by sociology he has qualified UPSC in her very second attempt. So MEDHA, welcome to GSS Core to the Pathways series.
Thank you.
So MEDHA, can you just share your success journey? What was your source of motivation about your education, and how did you enter into this field of civil services, right from civil engineer to civil services?
Actually, by God's grace, I had some really good seniors in college. So I was just thinking about what to pursue after my engineering. So that's when I took help from them basically. And then I decided, okay, we'll go for civil services. Actually, first my thing was to go for engineering services. I tried for that also during my college. I gave GATE exam also, which you have to give after engineering. Like that's a must sort of a thing. So I did give it. But instead of joining MTech or doing something, I came towards this directly because I thought, let's give it a try. So that's how I came to this journey.
Okay. So MEDHA, what is so special about engineers? We have seen that many engineers qualify every year UPSC. Do you feel that engineering is something which help in this UPSC?
I think every stream will help. It's the experiences that we have gained. Any stream person will gain some of the experiences from college. For example, attempting the assignment that the teachers are giving on time. Even that is a thing that has to be like teaches something or the other to the person. So I think in that way, engineering has really helped to be on time, to stick to the syllabus, to stay awake all night and prepare things. So yes, it has helped.
Okay, so basically the culture of engineering that makes us prepare for these services. Fine. So MEDHA, you have appeared in GATE also, you prepared for engineering services also, and you have finally qualified civil services. So do you find that civil services examination is little different from the other examination? What's your observation that you see that this is a unique thing about this examination?
I think in one word, if I can say, it's the diversity, the sheer diversity of this exam. Even for GATE exam, I had to prepare just civil engineering subjects, along with that little maths and all. But for engineering service, it was the same, that it was only about civil engineering subjects. But here, everything matters. Whatever is happening in the world, whatever is under the sun, that matters. So I think the sheer diversity in this subject is what makes it different from the others.
Okay, so MEDHA, this diversity is a challenge or it's a beauty of this examination?
It depends on how one takes it. It can be taken as a challenge as well as a beautiful thing to go about. But definitely it is a challenge, it cannot be denied.
Okay, fine. So MEDHA, you are from civil engineering background and you also prepared for GATE and ES. So why did you go for something like sociology instead of civil engineering as the paper?
Actually, initially I thought of taking civil engineering as my optional, and I was hellbound that, I'm doing fine in my graduation, so I'll do well here also. But after talking to my seniors, I really found out that, that it's not that easy. It's equivalent to 2.5 GS subjects. Just my optional would have been that bulky. So then they asked me, okay, you just go through some of the NCRTs of geography, sociology, and read something for anthropology. So I actually tried these different things. And at the end, I made up my mind that yes, sociology will be the right path because, it has something which is always around me happening. There are some things which are happening right now, but they'll have historical reasons for that. So I found that to be quite fulfilling to say. I got to know the reasons for many things which are happening right now by studying sociology. And it actually changes one's perception about things, So that's something good about sociology.
Okay. So MEDHA, UPSC is a very uncertain examination. We are not certain at all about the result. So many people, especially the people who are from engineering background and particularly the people who are from mechanical civil, they have an apprehension. They feel that directly jumping into the examination, we should go for some security of job, and first we should prepare for GATE or we should prepare for engineering services, and then after securing job, we should jump into the civil services. So do you think that any engineer from either mechanical or civil background, he can pursue both this examination like engineering services also and this UPSC also with a subject of civil engineering? Is it possible?
Actually, there are examples where people have done it. But yes, it is possible. I can't deny it. But it will be very challenging. That's definitely there. One of my friends, he has taken civil engineering as his optional. And things are quite challenging because he keeps on solving civil engineering and simultaneously doing other things. So it totally depends. If one thinks that they have a good stronghold on general studies subject, they are good in polity, geography, economics, and they can manage, then there is no problem in taking civil engineering as an optional. But for me, polity was new, economy was new, everything was new. I had to learn what was GDP, how do you calculate it, what is the method. So I couldn't have afforded, taking civil engineering. But if somebody thinks that they are good in general studies, then definitely no issues. It's
Okay,
just personal choice.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Fine. So Medha, we'll come to your optional, that is sociology. So first of all, tell me that what is the criteria of choosing any option? For example, there are more than 20 options. So how anyone can decide that? Like you said that you are having so much deep interest in sociology. So how did you know that that portion in which you are having interest, that is the part of sociology? What is the step-by-step process to choose the optional?
I think the first step should be to list out some of the optionals out of the many. Like obviously, I couldn't have taken zoology as my optional because that's not related to me anyhow. So I can just take out some of the optionals which I can take. For example, I had geography, I had civil engineering as my options for optional. Okay, I had anthropology and I had sociology. Then the next thing I would have done is to know even public administration. I was thinking to some extent that I can take that optional as well, because that would have helped in my general studies course. So initially I thought, okay, let's look out for the marking scheme. So I found that anthropology and sociology are doing well. So these were like on the top of the list. Second is you read a basic material about all the options that you have sorted out. Anybody has sorted out for that matter. And after reading it, one will definitely get an idea of which all things interest him or her. A person might be interested in anthropology more than sociology. It's better for him or her to take anthropology, because it's the interest which will let you survive in this journey. Because if I'm not interested in a subject, I can't study it for a very long time. Suppose I take mathly as my subject, but I'm not very deeply interested into it, I'll have a problem then. So I think first is marking scheme, second is your interest. So if your interest matters, take that subject and go
Okay,
ahead.
so interest is a prime criteria behind the selection of option, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Medha, please tell us something about optional subject, what this option is about sociology, a brief skeleton of the syllabus and all.
See, sociology is made up of social, basically. So whatever happens in our social world is sociology, I would say. For example, women issues. Now, patriarchy, like that's a part of women issues only. So yeah, that's sociology, work and culture. So if you'll even see the syllabus, apart from the thinkers, it's all about that's happening in the social life, the work culture, the women, the family, the types of families, etc. And then the part two would be like the paper two would be about the Indian attributes of these broader topics. Like for example, how does family go about in India? So that's what sociology is all about. That's one of the most fascinating thing that I found about sociology, is that it was happening around me. So I could relate the caste system, the discrimination, the varna system, everything. I was not very clear of all these things, but yes, sociology helped me clearing those doubts.
Okay, fine. So Medha, it is said that in sociology, if you command the thinkers like Durkheim, Parsons, Marx and all, you command the entire sociology. Is it correct?
See, my understanding of sociology, or for that matter, any subject, is that it has terminology. For example, if I'm writing geography, I need to use the right terminology. I can't just write simple words, basic words which are known to everybody. Same holds for sociology. So, if a person knows what are the basic tenets of the thinker, they can use those words or those concepts or those philosophies and write the answer. For example, Durkheim's suicide. Now, if there is a question related to suicide, any question, so those words, those jargons can be used, and the answer can be enriched. So I think that's what holds the key. That's why it said that you need to know the thinkers and all. It's the jargons that are important for any answer to look like a sociological answer.
Okay, so any answer should look sociological answer. Fine. So Medha,
Yeah.
can you please tell us that how can we analyze this migrant crisis of India, which is going on because of this COVID, from the angle of sociology?
Okay, I actually read a very good article from Dipankar Gupta. He's a Indian sociologist, and he said that the major problem with the migrants was not about economy. it was not that if they'll go back to their village places, those people will be able to afford these entrants. Like a labor going from an urban to rural area cannot expect to get a better lifestyle there, because it's the first reason why he opted to get out. So the Pankar Gupta writes that, the reason behind this migrant crisis would be, uh, in every tradition, be it Hindu or Muslim, if a person dies, there are certain rites that are performed, traditions that are performed on the death. So it was the fear of nobody being around and performing those rites if a person dies in an urban area that pushed the migrants towards rural areas. Now, I actually never thought it from this perspective. I thought, okay, it was just the anxiety of not being with the family, etc., etc. But he took it to another level. He said, that it's the absence of those rites being performed. If a person dies, that actually is forcing a person to go from urban to rural area, so that there are family members around, and there is this thing that, okay, if I'll die, God forbid, then my family is near me. So yeah, that's
Okay.
just one of the perspectives, and there can be many.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So, Medha, tell me one thing that you told us that sociology is related to happenings around the society. So now the question is that how anyone can update every year the notes. For example, someone has prepared for sociology this year. Now he'll have to take subsequent attempts. So how will he update his notes every year, because the things are so dynamic in the society?
I think one is that even the topics keep on changing. Now, migrant crisis is not something which happened earlier. It happened this time only, and so the articles also came about this migrant crisis. So this can be an easier thing to do. It's not exactly related to a particular philosophy or a particular syllabus term, so as to say. It's just the updated notes that I can just maintain on an A4 page. I can write it down that, okay, yeah, one of the reasons for migrant crisis can be this. And at the end of the year, I think maybe it'll be hardly 4 to 5 pages with very short things written on them, with good examples. Suppose there is something which a particular tribes does, so we can write those down. That, okay, this is something new. This is a different tradition. So I think that's the way to update it. From the original notes, just 4 5 more pages can be added, and the things will be done.
Okay, okay, fine. How this optional helps us in other subjects like GS, essay, and all?
Actually, it's very helpful. I'll tell you what happened. I wrote an essay and I gave it to my friends to check it out. I thought it was a very general essay. I have not written anything from my sociological knowledge per se. They read it and they said, you know what, Medha, this reflects your sociology optional. So I didn't realize it in the first place that actually I was using those concepts. But if another person was reading it, he or she might get it that, okay, you've used that sociological concept. I didn't know about it. Even now, actually, the things in GS are also expanding these days. Like, for example, I'll give you the example of glass ceiling. That concept, first I read it in sociology, that for women there is a glass ceiling, that they won't go above a particular point in jobs, in private sector especially. So that's where I read it. But with time, I saw that even coming in the GS materials also. But that was something which I learned from sociology. And similar things, when I incorporated it in my answer, I did it unintentionally, but it was because of the optional. So that was a good thing.
Okay, fine, fine. So approach is different in GS and the sociology also. Fine.
Yeah.
Say a question is there that what is secularism and what are the threats to secularism? And if this question comes in sociology, and if the same questions comes in Indian society of the GS paper, so what will the difference in the writing of the answer?
See, secularism is mentioned in the syllabus of sociology. Not exactly, but there are percepts of it. So, and there is a difference between secularization and secularism, if I remember it correctly. So, they give the exact concept. There are three principles which define secularism. They say, okay, if a person stops going to the temple, okay, that is secularization. And then for secularism, they'll give you a different philosophy. And in that blue Haralambos, there is something for that matter. I don't remember it now, but I know there was something. So the difference would lie between the jargons. For like what I'm writing in GS is a very generic approach that we cannot hold one community responsible for anything, and stuff like that. And then we can even mention the articles related to it, that even in our constitution it is mentioned. It was added by an amendment, but It was there implicitly in the constitution. But for sociology, I cannot write that thing that it is, it's there in the constitution. What I need to write is that how it started and what all are the problems now. It has to be a very dynamic flow in the answer. From I'll start with how it started, and then I'll go on with, the threats. This is happening. So that's the difference. And the second most important would be the jargons. I'll have to use unintentional consequences of a particular policy resulted into disruption of secularism. Now, this unintentional consequences, that is the latent and the manifest functions. Now, what will make the answer different. The words might be similar in GS and optional, but this is a particular term for sociology. Manifest, latent functions, dysfunctions.
Okay, fine. So we need to draw a boundary line, fine, between GS and sociology.
Yeah.
Okay. So can a student of sociology, can he leave entirely the part of Indian society that is in our GS paper?
It depends. I think there is a book for that. If one wants, and they can go through it. I personally didn't do anything for Indian society per se. I tried writing some answers, and in GS you can always write from sociology. So that's what I used to do. From whatever I knew of sociology, I used to write it in GS, and that answer would become thorough and complete. So it totally depends on personal choices. Even without reading a book, things might be fine.
Okay. Medha, what is the minimum time to complete this syllabus for a fresher?
Okay, I took coaching and coaching materials. Okay, and it took around, I think, 6 or 7 months for the first iteration. But I developed a good interest in the subject, so that was a plus point, and thank God for that. So it also depends on the pace on which material one is referring to, that the time period for finishing this syllabus can be determined. There's no exact thing. A person can go on for 6 months, a person can complete it in 2 months. It depends how one goes about.
Okay. Medha, can you just list out some of the books which are must for this optional? Which one has to read?
Okay, one is Nitin Sangwan. He's written it recently. It's a very good book, and it's very good for a first timer to read and get an idea of the subject, and for for the last revision, it's very good. In between, a person can go about and read different books. For example, there'll be Haralampus Blue. Then there are materials from IGNOU that can be read. The materials for IGNOU, I would say that if some concept is not clear, then that book is really good. It differentiates between simple words. I'll be thinking, okay, these two words might mean the same thing. But the IGNOU book would tell me that no, there is a slight difference between these two words, any two words. So that's, if some concept is not clear, go for IGNOU books. Rest, Haralampus, or any coaching material. I think they suffice. And then answer writing, a lot of answer writing, and including those jargons.
Okay, so Medha, about this book of Nitin Singhania, so should we read that book after completion of entire syllabus or in the starting itself?
See, it's good for getting an idea about this optional. So one can read it in the first go, Nitin Sangwan, or it can be read at the end for revision. That's what I said. That's the beauty of this book. As a first timer, I can read it and I'll get the concepts. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. And even as my last reading, it can be good.
Okay. I'm sorry, the book is of Nitin Sagwan, not Nitin Singhania. Nitin Singhania is for art and culture.
Art and culture.
Yeah, fine. Medha, do we have any scope of diagrams and all in this subject? Can you just give some examples where we can draw diagrams?
Yes, there is. This time I think a question came about Iravati Karve's definition for tribal something. So I had made notes, and they were made in 2 iterations. So the second iteration one was very thin, and that was what I revised just before the exam. So it was like on India's map, we can just list out what are the various tribal communities that she mentions. That way diagrams can be made. So I actually made this diagram of Indian map, and then delineating the different tribal areas and communities. And apart from that, even Nitin Sangwan, there are some very good diagrams. One can take it from there, For example, the definition of a village in India, that's in paper 2. So Nitin Sangwan has given a circular thing, and they've written 4 points out of it. It was supposed to be self-sufficient. It was supposed to be this, that. So help can be taken from this book, and then I can prepare my own diagrams for different things depending upon what they've asked, so there is scope for diagrams.
Okay, okay. Medha, many people say that in paper one of sociology we have a lot of content and all, but in paper two the people lack content in Indian society, and they say that they just have to believe on their instinct, their own innovation to write the answer. So, what's your advice on this? How to strengthen the subject of Indian society?
See, first thing can be done is that please take a coaching material and complete it throughout paper two. And for paper two, I think Mohapatra says notes are recommended heavily. So just go with it. Complete it once, and then go for answer writing. Take the past year papers, see what the questions are coming, and try solving those. If it's possible, get it checked by somebody who has written an answer, or if possible, a teacher, that how I'm going about. And it's absolutely fine to not write a good answer in the first go, but the first thing is to overcome that fear of writing the first answer. So I think that has to be overcome, number one. And then when one starts writing answer, it with time it becomes easier, and one gets a way out of it. Okay, I have to write this answer like this, I can use these many points, I have to start the introduction, then this will be my body, and then everything will just flow into one's mind. So like the practice will enhance all these things, I think.
Medha, what is the right time to start answer writing practice? For example, things are quite interlinked. For example, Weber is linked with Marx, then Marx is linked with the paper too. So, what is the right time to start this answer writing practice?
See, when I started preparation, I read that answer writing is must, and you need to start straight away with it. And I saw the question, and I didn't know what to write. So that's a very troublesome thing to get into. And then I remember for months I tried writing answers, trying to make points and highlighting those and doing I don't know what all. So I think once the syllabus is done once, then answer writing can be started. Or another approach can be I finish one topic and then I write an answer on it. But that can be fruitful, but the answers might lack that quality, because first the entire syllabus one has to know, okay, these are all the things that are there. So I can use another concept in this very answer and make this answer more enriching.
Okay.
So yeah, complete the syllabus once and then start answer writing.
Okay, so the right time is that after covering a substantial portion only you can start answer writing. This is the best strategy. Right.
Yes.
So Medha, everyone is reading from the same sources, IGNOU, Nitin, Sagwan books and all. So how to make our answers diversified and out of the crowd so that we can fetch more marks? What was your strategy in this?
Actually, this is a very good fact to know that, even if for GS, many people can write similar answers. But for sociology, I've seen when I joined the test series and wrote answers and saw the answers of my friends, I saw that everybody wrote in a very different term, in a very different way. So there are lesser chances of overlapping things unless their concept has been asked. Like, for example, discuss Marx's theory of something. Then everybody would be writing the same thing. But if it's a general question about the migrant crisis, then everybody would be writing different answers. Maybe 2-3 points will get overlapped. But what thought process we are having, and etc., that will determine the flow of the answer. So one should not worry too much about it, that I have to maintain some ingenuity in this answer writing or something. Some points are bound to collide with other people, but definitely there is some some different things which are from other people. It happens, I don't know how, but it does happen. I think maybe the thought process, the experiences that we all we have are different, so that reflects in our answer writing. I think that's what makes the answers different.
Okay. Medha, in sociology, we have so many researchers, scholars, thinkers, Andre Bete, then you mentioned Dipankar Gupta, Yogendra Singh, all. So is it necessary to write all the scholars in our answer? Do we have to sprinkle the scholars in the answer?
See, it depends. Actually, I remembered a few of them, and there can be two approaches to it. If somebody is good at memorizing, then try memorizing 1 or 2 thinkers for all the topics, and then we can go about and write them. The other option would be that, okay, I know what Weber has said about it. Okay, I know what is the, like, Yogendra Singh is what's that called? There is this tradition of Yogendra Singh, no? he writes towards the slight left. So I know what he will say. He's a little radical to say, if that's not a wrong word. So I know what are the basic tenets of Dipankar Gupta or G.S. Ghurye. G.S. Ghurye was like towards Indian tradition, while Yogendra Singh was a little away from me. So I know what will be his basic tenets will be in a particular area. So I can try and mold those things into my answer. Let's see, Yogendra Singh's modernization theory would say that this is bound to happen. Uh, like I'm just giving an example that there can be two ways. Either you are able to remember different scholars for different topics. If that's not a possibility, try writing what all I remember. I know he's Marxist, so I'll write something related to that, and in similar fashion. Yeah, that can be
Okay,
done.
fine, fine. Medha, what is the role of NCRTs in this optional? Should one go for NCRT before starting the optional?
See, I didn't read the NCRT completely. My reading of the NCRT goes back to the time that I was choosing my optional. Once that was done, I didn't read the NCRT to be honest. So if you're covering a syllabus from a book or some coaching material, then it's fine. Like no need to go for the NCRTs explicitly.
Okay, fine. Medha, like you mentioned that sociology is all about happenings in the society, and that's quite interesting subject. It's about religion, caste, patriarchy, women, everything that we see in the society. So I've seen that the students they start researching over the paper. They go so deeper that because of so interesting. So what's your advice on this? How to draw a boundary line that this is the boundary line. Now I have to stop here. Now there is no requirement of much knowledge.
Okay, in some of the topics you can go deeper because that will give you some good insights into this optional, and that will make this journey interesting also. So in some of the topics, like suppose somebody likes to read about caste, okay, how it started, etc., etc., go deep into it, not too much, but yeah, to a certain level. But researching on every topic I think is not right, because then that will become too much of a hectic schedule. So if you like some topic, uh, research into it, read about it, get good terms. Do, whatever you do, get good terms. For example, I was reading this economics and political weekly. So I thought, oh my God, it's a 100-page book and 50 pages. I don't know what's written. I can't read it. But I found a very good term in it. It was twice Dalit. So that word was used for, I think, tribal women, that uh, they face the stigma twice of Dalit, like what Dalits face in India. That's twice that they are facing, being women and then being Dalit or tribal. So you have to get some good terms. Whatever you read has to be fruitful. If it's not giving you anything for the exam and you are not in your leisure time, stop it there and then. But if it's giving you some good terms, write down those good terms, and that will be good. Yeah.
Amida, is there any books, magazines, websites to update your notes to update on current affairs, current happenings in the society?
Uh, Anything like that I didn't do, like not too much. If I didn't get any, like the gist of some concept, I used to Google, and I was basically preparing in Delhi. So just before the exam, there used to be some magazine from some coaching centers or something which used to come out, and they used to say, we have covered all the current affairs for sociology, and if possible I would read them like that. But what's important again is that even if a test paper of any of the coaching centers is taken, even that will give a very good insight into it, that okay, these are the current happenings, I need to prepare around these things. For example, this time the question came about what river linking project. uh, so now even in the exam I didn't understand how to write it in a sociological way. I did write it, but then I was very confused. It just mentioned nothing. It said, what is this project, elaborate, like from which perspective, nothing they wrote. It was just an open-ended question. So if one will try writing such type of answers, then one will have a feeling, okay, these are all things I can mention what will be its impact on human society, because we are dealing with sociology here. How can it affect the stratification, the classes, the caste, anything for that matter. It will affect higher caste or lower caste or whatever. So that will help. There's no single thing to do. It's just whatever comes up, try manage those things.
Okay, okay. Medha, what is the meaning of this sociological way of writing? You have mentioned this so many times.
Have I mentioned this? Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, what I mean is again the same thing. Use jargon, sociological way of writing. That's I read some of the toppers' answer book when I was preparing. So I found that they were just writing some of the terms which are very common for a sociology student. Now, for example, all these Weber and all, they have given terms like Verstehen, like stuff like that, So whatever they have given, rationalization, or they're just simple terms. One can use those terms in normal talking also, but they are sociological specific terms. So we need to write the answer, but from different perspectives. Like for example, if I'm writing an answer and it has to be about something, some impact on women, I'll write the same points, but those points should incorporate those jargons. They should use, okay, the manifest function of this would be this, or whatever. So that's the sociological way of writing, if I have to explain that.
Okay, okay. Medha, do you have any scope of self-innovation in the paper? Means that is your own innovation, your own thinking that you can apply in the paper?
In what context exactly? Like,
for example, say we are writing something about patriarchy. So there are two types of things. One is that what scholars have written, what thinkers have written. But one thing is that that's my own observation. So can we write our own observation, our own analysis of the society in the paper?
Yeah, but try writing it like that, that researchers have found that maybe that will make it more authentic. Because if I'm writing a point, I need to justify it. So, and most of the things that I'm getting in my mind are because of I've read it somewhere. Like it's the experience which I've had. So those have been written somewhere. Getting my point. Whatever I'm getting in my mind at the exam is because of some reading. Yeah. So.
And even if we are writing our own innovation, then after getting a very broad thinking, only we can do this kind of experiment, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah, exactly.
it might put reverse effect in that. Fine, fine. Yes. So, Medha, my last question to you. This is from a student. A student is there, Shantanu from Maharashtra, and he feels problem in reading and studying Parsons. Number one. Number two is having problem in that topic, something called research and all in the sociology. So, what's your advice on that? Both of those topics?
I think this Parsons is mentioned in IGNOU books. So the simplest way would be to download that IGNOU book in which this Parsons thinkers is given. Try reading it. And even in Blue Haralambus, there is a page dedicated to him. And just read those word by word. It's just an understanding that Parsons is very difficult and I can't understand what Parsons says. But it's not too much, if you read it like with all your dedication, maybe for a day or like for some hours, it will become easy. So what you need to do is that just take it out from some good material. If you're not able to understand it from some coaching material, I think that's what the problem people face, because the teacher explains something, then students write something else, and then that gets published, and the other person is not able to understand. Take a genuine resource for this. Take an IGNOU book, Haralambus, or any other book which people are recommending for sociology, and then read it. And the best way would now be to read Nitin Sangwan. Try reading it once, even that's easy. Like the language is very lucid, so that can be done. For research topic, Nitin Sangwan is good. He has mentioned all the types of things, questionnaire and interviews and all. So that's good.
Okay, fine. Medha, your last words to a student of sociology, number one. Number two, the aspirants who are going to appear on 4th of October, both.
Okay. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, number one to the students who have taken sociology. Number two, the students who are going to appear for 4th of October, prelims this year.
Okay. For sociology, I would say do answer writing. Take it from me. I've heard it that, you have to be wiser to learn from someone else's experience. Take it from me. Write as many answers as possible. Don't be afraid to write your first answer. Even if you're not scoring well in the test, don't stop giving tests. Do give lots and lots of tests and use those jargons. Very, very important. For those appearing on 4th of October, please don't be scared. I know it's a very terrible feeling, to go and write in the exam and think of whether it will be 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3 or none. But please give all your heart to it and have faith on yourself, the most important thing. Because not too many people will have faith on you. So it's better if you yourself have faith on you. And okay, everything will be fine with time. I hope everything goes well for all of you. Yeah.
So Medha, thank you very much for joining us, and from the entire team of GS Score, we wish you all the best and we wish that you get everything that you aspire in your life, Medha. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.